What's going on, guys? If you're looking for a reliable Facebook ad strategy that will let you scale 50, 60, 70K days, this video is going to be for you. Before we jump into our Facebook ad account, I want to first talk about ad creative. Your ad creative is going to either make or break your entire strategy, and knowing how to consistently build creatives that will print is absolutely essential. So I recommend each week you sit down for at least 90 minutes and do the following. Ask yourself, why would somebody purchase your product? What desires does that person have that your product provides a solution for? Literally create a document, start writing ideas out. Let's use myself as an example, right? So we sell personalized pet themed jewelry. There's many desires that people have that might have them, want to buy this product. One of them that's very popular is gifting, right? I sell giftable jewelry, and a desire somebody might have is to give a meaningful gift to somebody that they love, right? Find other brands, right? So apart in this 90-minute session, find other brands that channel similar desires and study how they approach communicating that desire to their customers and in their ads. I pulled up one example here. This is Crown and Paw. They don't even sell the same product, right? They sell personalized pet portraits, but this is still selling giftable products to dog parents, to pet parents, right? And I can go now here and I can look at how are they approaching communicating that. You can see here, they're using the language, perfect gift for pet lovers, perfect quality, right? They have other language down here, the pawfect present, right? They're kind of gamifying that language, right? I can directly learn from this and apply this in my creative, okay? I'm gonna actually go ahead and show you guys a creative that we're gonna be running here and testing here along with this Facebook ad strategy here today. It's going to be this creative here, and I just wanna showcase how I am channeling the desires in my creative here. So you can see I'm saying the perfect dog mom gift, right? Her pet's face on a necklace. Then I show, a bunch of pictures of the product. It's extremely important that you do this every single week and that you guys understand how to speak to your target demographic. If you want a more in-depth explanation on this, definitely hop into the free Discord group. We're going to be doing a live session about channeling desires this upcoming week. So don't miss out on that. Cool. After you identify the desire that you want to channel in your ad creative, you obviously want to start putting these ad creatives together that you're then going to go and put inside of your ad account, right? So let's kind of transition out into actually going into the ad account, launching this ad creative that we were just taking a look at. And let's talk about how my process looks like for that. So every single month, I like to have a separate creative testing campaign. And this is, again, going to be the very first part and step of my Facebook ads strategy. You have to identify creatives that work and creatives that channel the desires that your customers have in order to be able to scale those, right? You literally can't scale unless you crack that kind of first step. That's why we first talked about creative, and that's kind of now where we're gonna jump in and talk about creative testing. So every single month, I like to have a new creative testing campaign. In this creative testing campaign, we're gonna go ahead and create a brand new ad, and I'm gonna show you guys live how I'm going to go ahead and launch this ad creative here. So all you're gonna do is inside of a brand new campaign, right? You're gonna wanna go hit create, and we're gonna go ahead and create an ad set. Now what I like to do is I like to name my ad sets and my ads in a very similar way. I like to, in the ad set, put in the concept that we're gonna be testing, right? So this concept over here, I'm going to go ahead and name it, I'm gonna say 2410, right? I'll explain what this means. All this is saying 24, that's in the year, we're in 2024, and 10, we're in October, that's the 10th month, right? I'm gonna go ahead and put the person who created this piece of content, which is my graphics editor, Saraid, and then I'm going to go ahead and put in what this graphic is. So this is a recreation that we did. I'm just gonna say recreation 11. And then you can see kind of my format here goes into the country that I'm going to be targeting. Now, something important here, when I'm doing my creative testing, I like to target only one country to keep the variables as condensed as possible, and so that my creative is the main thing being tested here. Okay, so I'm going to be testing this specifically to the US, and I'm going to be using broad targeting for this. Now, if you're completely fresh, fresh pixel, don't have a lot of data, I would recommend, instead of broad, doing an interest stack, and I'll actually demonstrate that here. I'll demonstrate that here as we go forth. So I'm going to go ahead and in the ad side here, put in the same name here of the ad creative we're going to be testing, and let's go ahead and hit continue. I'm going to go ahead and click on website. We're going to go down to pixel, select my pixel, conversion event. I like to always optimize for purchase. That's the end goal. And then let's talk a little bit about budget. So I like to start all of my testing with my target cost per acquisition, right? So that is going to be different for everybody. For me, my ideal target cost per acquisition is around $35. What does that mean? That means if I just get one sale, right, on this ad set per day, it's making me money. Okay, so that's kind of what I would recommend you set your ABO budget at, is that kind of ideal cost per acquisition that you're looking for. That's how I approach it. And then down here in the audience controls, we're going to go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and switch this back to original audience options, use original audience. We're not going to be using Advantage Plus for this. And I mentioned I was going to showcase how to do an interest stack. So let me go ahead and showcase that for those interested. Interest stacks are very simple. You go here and you identify what are the biggest interests that are going to hit that target demographic, right? So again, who's my target demographic here? Let's tie back into the desires we were talking about. So the perfect dog mom gift. This is going to be applicable to anybody who has a pet, right? Because anybody who has a pet might know somebody else who has a pet and can buy this as a gift for somebody who has a pet, right? So I can go and I mean, dog owners, right? Like this is a big one, is just going to be dog owners. So I'm going to go in here and just say dog, right? And we can say dogs, animals, right? What else might be applicable here? Well, let's see what else comes up. If we do dog breed, right? This has 74 million to 87 million people in it. There's another one, right? And a cool little trick here is if you go down here, you're gonna have a bunch of suggested ones. After you start typing some, you'll have some suggested ones. And oftentimes these are great to literally just stack. So I'm gonna hit dog training. We can do dog grooming, dog walking, dog toy, right? So this is what a stack looks like. And this type of a stack, you can really fill this up with like 10, 20 different interests. Ideally, you're just trying to get an audience size that's going to be over 100 million, I would say. You could see here kind of what we have. We're definitely in that mark. Now, as I mentioned earlier, I'm going to be doing this broad since my pixel does have a lot of data and I've seen that work better. So I'm going to go ahead and just remove these and it's going to be absolutely blank. One thing that I am going to go ahead and change here is the age. I know that statistically 18 to 44 is typically the audience that purchases our products the most. So I'm going to go ahead and change this to 18 to 44. Obviously, this is going to differ. And if you're, again, kind of just fresh, I would leave this more broad. I'm going to leave all genders on. I'm going to leave all languages on. I'm going to leave this to Advantage Plus placements. And let me see if there's anything else that I want to add in here. You can see we have US as the country we are going to be targeting. Cool. So you can see that on the actual ad set level, this is super simple, super broad. Let's go now into the actual ad creative. So let's go to create ad. We're going to go to manual upload. We're going to click on single image or video. And then we're going to click on setup creative image. Now this is new actually. I'm going to just jump here to add media. Going to hit on upload. We're going to go to where I have my image. We're going to upload the image. And obviously, if you're uploading a video here, you would upload your video. and we're gonna hit on next. Now I will touch base on how many creatives you should have in here, etc. I know there's probably some questions about that. So let's just go hit done and let's touch base on that really quickly. So I like to have one ad set per concept, okay? And now each concept can have multiple variations. Now, what variations should you test? I'm sure you're asking. Some great variations to test for videos are going to be hooks. For static images, could be headlines, all right? But keeping a lot of the creative the same and just having one variable that switches is what's going to differentiate these variations and is what's going to allow you to really pinpoint what's working and what's not working. Okay. And then you want to use what's working and you want to use what's working in future concepts that you create. For example, the perfect dog mom gift is a winning headline for me. This has worked in video ads. This has worked in static ads. Thus, I'm using it here in this ad creative that we're testing with a new format. Okay. So let's go ahead and now talk a little bit about the rest of the setup we have here. I'm going to turn off multi-advertiser ads, and I'm going to go over here to the primary text. Now, there's a lot of controversy on how many pieces of primary text should you add in here, and I'm gonna just give you guys my 2 cents. I like to stack this. Okay. Over the years, I found different pieces of copy that have worked, and I'm a very big advocate of literally going in here and just putting in a wide variety of copy that will let now Facebook's AI determine which one's gonna work best with this creative. What I've identified is that different pieces of copy will work better with different creatives. Thus, I like to give a bit of a more wide selection that they can choose from. So I'm gonna go ahead and just put in a few here that I know have worked for me in the past and that I'm going to go ahead and use with this creative. I'm just copying and pasting these. Obviously, if you've never written one before, guess what? A great place to start getting some ideas is right back to what we talked about, which is super important, doing research into other competitors that are speaking to the same demographic. You can see here, Crown and Paw had some great examples. And if I wanted to test something similar, I could quite literally try doing a perfect gift for dog owners, right? Perfect quality, dog gifts that always delight, right? Like I could rewrite this in my own way where it could work pretty effectively, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and just put in 2 more here. Like I said, I like to absolutely stack this to the max, and you can see you can add up to 5. And then here for the headlines, I like to add, I don't usually add 5 in here. I usually add a few that I know work, and these are typically going to be very urgency based. You can see here I have sale ends at midnight, and I have sale ends soon, don't miss out. These are 2 pieces of copy, headline copy, that have worked for me in the past that I am going to use here as well. When it comes to the description, this is also, kind of debated. I have one that I've kind of used across the board, which is just some stars and letting people know that our product has a 5 out of 5 star rating, build some social proof, and it's worked well for me. Call to action, let's go ahead and do shop now. That's a pretty universal one that works well. And then obviously for the product page, you're gonna wanna send people to your product page, right? I'm gonna be sending people to my pet face necklace product page over here. I'm going to go ahead and select none for the browser add-ons. And I am now going to go ahead and launch this creative. Now let's go ahead and talk a little bit about how long should this creative run for, and what to do, if it doesn't work, and what to do if it works. I think that's another important topic to talk about. So let's jump into that. Let me just grab a sip of my coffee here. Okay, so after you launch your creative, you want to let it learn. This is one of the most, I see so many people doing this wrong, okay? you need to let it learn for a minimum anywhere from like 3 to 7 days. 5 to 7 is more ideal, okay? The reason for this is the creative needs to get spend, okay? It needs to spend to be able to get pushed out there, to be able to get tested, and to be able to identify, is this going to work when put in front of your target demographic, right? Make sense? So after 5 to 7 days, you want to look at your creative and you want to ask yourself a very simple question. Is this creative heading in the right direction? Now, what does that mean? And I'll break it down. Does this creative have at least one purchase? Okay. If it has one purchase, I'll let it run potentially a few more days, even if it's on like break even or a little bit unprofitable. If it has no purchases, hasta luego, right? I'm killing it, it's done. Okay. And that's typically my kill metric is around like $100 spend, right? If I'm spending $35 a day, after 3 days, right, we're getting to, $100 after 4 days, $100 some dollar spend. If it gets over $100 some dollar spend, no purchases, it's not going to be working for me. I'm killing that creative and I'm continuing to test. And guys, I cannot emphasize how important it is to creative test every single week, multiple concepts a week. All right. So important. This is how you find the winning creatives to scale. And we're going to take a look at a winning creative over here. We're going to take a look directly here at a winning creative that I just recently identified. And we're going to then talk about what to do when you have a creative that's working for you. So let's do that. We have this creative over here that I launched just a few days ago, right? So I launched this creative, I want to say on Monday, and you can see on Monday, this creative spent $13, no sales, okay? We come here to Tuesday and you can see this creative popped the fuck off with 4 sales, a 3.7 ROAS, $85 in spend. And what you'll notice is I pretty quickly started increasing this budget. And this is something I want to now touch base on. When you see that your creatives are getting some traction here and they'll stand out like a sore thumb. Why? Look at yesterday. A lot of these creative tests, they're like not really doing great. This one here is standing out, right? We have a really good cost per click. And, for me, anywhere from, $1 to $1.60 in the US is really good, right? If we look here at our hook rate, we have a 34% of people are watching for at least 3 seconds here. And that's all great stuff, right? If you want to learn more about these metrics, again, hop in the Discord, we can chat more about it. I don't want to spend too much time here on it. Cool. So this creative here started to work really well. And what did I do? I increased the budget where it lies. Okay. I didn't move it out. I didn't do anything crazy with it. I literally just took the budget and I increased it. And you'll see here, if I go to the view chart and then we take a look at, if we take a look at right here, you'll notice that the amount this creative spent went from, this day spending $13 to this day spending $85. And you'll notice there was a budget change that happened here where I changed this. You can see I started this a little bit higher. I started this at 65. I changed this from 65 to 95. The reason for this, right? And your goal here is going to be to see if by increasing the budget where this creative lies, if it can continue to have your ideal cost per acquisition, right? For me, $21 CACs are fucking fantastic, right? If it can continue to have those really good cost per acquisitions at a higher volume, okay, you following? So if that is the case and it can do that, and what you'll notice is, let's go to today here, this is still crushing, right? So this creative is still crushing. That is a sign that it's a winning creative. And you can continue to increase the budget to just see, can it continue to get ideal cost per acquisitions at a higher budget? And if the answer is yes, then you, my friend, unlocked a winning creative. Now, how do you scale a winning creative? That's kind of next part of this strategy. And guys, there's many ways to do it. You can literally continue increasing the budget where it lies. You can create a CBO campaign, stick it in there. One great method, I'll just send you guys to this. So if you go to ecom.live and you check out my latest video, 10K FB scaling strategy, it's completely free to watch. If you skip about halfway through here, around 4 minutes, I show how to set up a worldwide single ad set CBO scaling campaign. This is another fantastic route for scale that you can take. Cool. So build creatives backed with research, right? Step one, that speak to customer desires. Extremely important. Test those, scale the ones that work to see, can they hold, right? Can they hold that cost per acquisition at a higher level? And after they do, you can scale them in a variety of ways. One we just talked about, and you can go check it out on Ecom Live. You don't need any gimmicky strategies, guys, to Chad scale. That's what I got for you guys today. Take it easy. I'll catch you guys later.